The National Transportation Safety Board is sending a team to Bali, Indonesia. They're going to investigate the crash landing of a Lion Air 737 that missed the runway on Saturday. All 108 passengers and crew survived. Well, the incident is putting a spotlight on the airline's safety record. Lion Air has been involved in 6 accidents since 2002.
Details of the pilot's debrief are beginning to explain how the plane belly flopped into shallow water. As the jet approached, heavy rains obscured visibility of the runway, and the Lion Air captain, who has logged over 15,000 flying hours, said he felt the plane being dragged down by the wind as he tried to abort the landing for another attempt.
For this outcome to happen, it probably means that more than one thing went wrong. You know, one of the things that we've done a good job in aviation is that we have lots of checks and balances. We have lots of ways to prevent a single failure, a single fault, a single error from leading to a bad outcome.
A Lion Air spokesman said the $89 million Boeing 737 next generation plane was received by Lion Air last month and declared airworthy. On Saturday, it had landed safely in 2 other cities before crashing in Bali.
CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg is here. Peter, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, we use the word crash, but you think we should change the terminology in terms of crash versus hard landing.
Exactly.
Why?
Technically, this was, of course, a crash. It will be listed as such, but this was a survivable hard landing. Anytime you have a landing where the forces are less than 16 Gs, you have a reasonably good chance of getting out. Now, in this case and 2 other cases, one, of course, involving Captain Sullenberger, all in the process of landing, the planes were flared out. In Sullenberger's case, of course, he prepared to land. He knew exactly what he was going to be doing at that point. He had no other choice. In these 2 other cases, the one that we just reported on, the Lion Air case, and one that happened in Jamaica in 2009, another 737, American Airlines Flight 331, landed long on the runway late at night in a rainstorm. He landed 4,000 feet down the runway when he should have landed about 800 feet down the runway, left the runway, and broke up again. But in all of these cases, the reason why they were survivable was because there was no fire and no smoke. And what you see historically is that people can survive the impact, but they die from the toxicity of the fumes created by the smoke and the fire. We were very lucky in all 3 of these cases.
And what do you make of the fact that this airline has had troubles before?
Well, as you saw in the report, 6 cases of accidents, 4 of which, since 2002, 4 of which involving 737s. This particular airline and a number of Indonesian airlines are actually banned by the European Union right now from flying into their airports. And the reason, one of the reasons is when you have such a rapidly expanding airline, they're having trouble finding qualified pilots. This particular pilot, of course, had 15,000 hours. But the other cases, one of which involved 25 deaths, another story.
What went right here? I mean, the fact that all of the passengers were able to survive. Good pilot?
Well, remember, the original story that came out, which was wrong, was that he basically hit the water after leaving the runway. No, he never made the runway. He landed short of the runway in the water. The water cushioned the impact. Same thing that happened with Sully Sullenberger, the same thing that happened in Jamaica, because by the time the plane went off the runway, he was flying a little bit. He was going.
So is that by definition a bad pilot? He missed the runway and hit the water.
Well, it could have been wind shear, and that's exactly what we're talking about. If the wind leaves you, it's like the rug being pulled from under you, and at that low altitude, you have no choice. You're going to hit.
Peter, thank
Thanks,
you
Peter.
so much.
Yeah.